You'll hear me. Or don't tell me you weren't nervous as we.
No, I wasn't nervous.
I know you weren't. I'm saying everybody else. I was nervous
in the first quarter.
In the first quarter. Now I'm not nervous. We welcome you to Nissan In-Game Live. I don't care if you're watching from Corte Madera, California, or Sag Harbor, New York, or South Jersey, Jawsy. I got 24/7 Philadelphia Eagles.
I've got the same thing.
Tale of two quarters. What the heck happened? They did not get their first offensive possession till 5:38 remaining in the first. All that time of possession was crazy.
Well, thank goodness it was a Gardner Johnson interception for a touchdown. That score was then 7-7. That really quite, honestly, at that point, I was a little nervous. We were looking a little bit unsettled, but the defense made some plays. Defense came up and made some plays. Obviously, Kenny Pickett and Smitty come together and hit a couple big touchdown passes. So it looks like now the Dallas Cowboys are done.
Also, it sure does. It sure does at 24-7. Yeah. And I am not making excuses for the offense, but here goes. And that is when you have CJGJ with the interception return for a touchdown, 69 yards, you would never trade that away. I understand that. But does it tack on extra work for the D so early in the game where they're on their heels with a second straight possession? And Dallas worked them with a drive, and were it not for that defensive penalty, perhaps they settle for a field goal.
No.
Okay.
No. This defense has proven itself worthy. I'm not concerned at all. Even in the fourth quarter last week, we were exposed a little bit. Early in the game, I thought it was a good game plan by the Dallas Cowboys. Short, quick pass game. I thought they did a good job of running the football as well against our defensive line, which is arguably one of the best in the National Football League. So, I think it's kind of that. Okay, let's see what we're going to get from the Dallas Cowboys. What do they got left? Their season's over. They're playing out the string of 2 games. But to give Mike McCarthy's team some credit, they came out in that first quarter. They're ready to play. But you can just see this Eagle team is just far too talented. You got a backup quarterback lighting them up. Their secondary can't run with our wide receivers. It's just a mismatch at this point.
Yeah. Let's talk about the big question mark regarding today's game for the Eagles, and that's quarterback Kenny Pickett in there in relief of Jalen Hurts, who continues to sit with concussion. We'll see about next week against the Giants. Pickett was as high as 130-something for a quarterback rating. He ends the first half at 119. He's 9 of 14. He's got a touchdown pass. He's got a touchdown run. He actually had 2 more that were taken away. I got him with 4 touchdowns, Josh. but I'll back off. But what did you think of his play?
I thought it was very good. I thought Kellen Winslow kind of eased him into the game. Early in the game, it was a short, quick pass game, flare routes to Kenny Gainwell, just getting the ball out quick. And all of a sudden, they kind of realized, okay, what Dallas was going to do coverage-wise. Okay, we're going to get Bland signaled up on Smitty. It's not going to happen. They're not going to play with it. So I think it took them a little while to figure out what the matchups were going to be. Once they figured out the matchups, it was attack down the field.
Yeah,
and it was good play calling. I'd like to see Saquon give the ball a little more for selfish reasons for him, but give Dallas some credit. They were stopping him early and often early in the game. He had one 15-yard run there just before the half ended, but get a win first. I would like to see Saquon break that record, but get a win first.
Yeah, you also talked about the defense when we first came on. CJGJ with the interception for a touchdown, 69 yards.
It's a horrible
beautiful.
Horrible decision. Threw right in double coverage. Just a horrible decision. But CJGJ is right there waiting for the ball to come to him.
He sure was. Yeah. And then a second one, and then Jordan Davis with a fumble recovery. And all of it sets up points for the Eagles, and that's a huge thing.
Yeah, I think the Jordan Davis fumble recovery was really big. I think at that time Dallas was still in the game. They were feeling a little momentum. That kind of took his team out of their engine for that point of the game on.
One perhaps smaller point, but I think it loomed pretty large today is on the kickoffs. We see Jake Elliott
booming them.
Yeah, and that was
Michael.
not the case. And the last several weeks he's in there now.
With Turpin returning, you better kick him through the end zone or deep end zone because that guy can bring him back.
Yeah. Maybe that helps Elliott on his long distance field goal attempts.
Got to work on it in practice now.
Yeah, yes, indeed.
Work on it more.
What are you thinking for the second half? for the Philadelphia Eagles offense?
I think they'll do what they're doing. They're going to run the football. When they get the one-on-one on the outside, they'll take their shots. I think the defense just has Dallas can only stay with their game plan. They can't block us up front in the passing game, so they're going to have to stay on schedule. If they get off schedule, in other words, second and third and long, they're in for a long. I think they're in for a long afternoon right now. But we get the ball to start the second half, so looks good in the second half with a 24-7 lead.
Do you expect more defensive turnovers by the Birds?
Yes. Yeah.
That's going to be a good thing, leading to points. It's
exciting.
exciting.
There's no doubt because they're getting pressure. Secondary is playing very well. They're in the right position, the right time. I don't see that changing at this point.
We thought this would happen. There's a division championship in the wings waiting for the Philadelphia Eagles. It's going to be exciting. We could go on about them all
East
day.
Title. Championship. I like to hear that.
I like that.
That's a T-shirt and a hat, Michael. Maybe we'll get one.
And potentially the number 1 seed.
Potentially.
Still hanging out there.
5% shot.
Well, I'll take it because stranger.
So you're telling me?
You're telling me there's a chance. All right, my friend. We will see you all when the clock hits 0 for Eagles post-game live on NBC Sports Philadelphia. Ron Jaworski, Barrett Brooks, Reuben Frank, John Clark in the locker room. And all the interviews from Nick Sirianni to Kenny Pickett to Saquon Barkley, all of them. That's all coming up.
Do not miss it.
Well, do not miss it. We'll see you then.